Hey guys, Dark Wolf here. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day, whatever part of the day you're in while watching or listening to this video. Anyway, I'm going to give a couple moments for folks to start to kind of come in here, see if we have very many viewers, and carry on with what the topic for tonight. So, I love Dragnet. It's not one of my all-time favorite shows, but I like it. And one of the most famous lines from that show is just the facts, man. Just the facts. Hello, one viewer. So, what I want to get down to tonight is just the facts. What do we know? We speculate a lot, but what do we know? So, we're going to do some lists here and maybe collaborate together and see what we can't put together. So, what do we know so far? Number one, we know that it's ongoing. We also know that Dark Wolf clearly can't spell. Just kidding. We know that it's ongoing. We know that it's not slowing down by any means. We're still finding new Mandela effects. We're finding things that we've seen change before that have changed again. So it's not like everything just changed at once and we're just kind of going through like an Easter egg hunt, finding all the new stuff. That's not so much the case. Pull up the chat here. Now I've got the chat on screen, guys, as I'm sure you can see. So feel free to chat away while we work on this. I'll actually put the chat over here on this side. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Let's try that again. All right, chat over there on that side. Then when we need this, we can just pop between the two. A little sip of coffee and carry on. How many people we got watching right now? It ain't gonna tell me. Five people. Hello, 5 people. Anyway, back to the topic. We know that it's ongoing. We know that things are not just a one-time change and we're finding stuff like I said, like an Easter egg hunt. We've seen things change that we've already researched. We've seen our own research change. Speaking of that, Jiffy peanut butter, guys. I kept telling the story of how it was named Jiffy originally, and for those of you who did the research, guess what? It's changed again. It was never called Jiffy at all, ever now. It was called Big Top Peanut Butter. Hey, James, glad to see you, bud. No worries. No worries at all. Not a problem. I understand internet issues, definitely. All right. So the second thing, and feel free, guys, to jump in and throw your ideas in. We're trying to separate speculation from fact, so make sure it's fact that we're throwing in. We've got a speculation list too, if you want to add to that. Second up, we know that memories and reality don't match. That's a fact. Hey, Double O, what's up, buddy? Great to see you. Tables a turn. Usually I'm watching you perform. All right. Anyway, we know that memories and reality do not match. That's a fact. That's what the whole effect is about. It's not all of us that have every single shared memory. It's more like groups of us that have shared the same memories. So, for instance, Jiffy peanut butter, once again. For a group of people, it was always Jif. For another group, it was always Jiffy. For another group, it was always Big Top Peanut Butter. I don't know. That's what the original name of it now is. Jiffy Peanut Butter does not exist ever anymore. What was originally Jiffy when he created it, he now called Big Top Peanut Butter. So even the history on that one has changed. Memories and reality just don't match each other. That's what the whole effect is about. Pinky, lovely to see you. I am doing wonderful, thank you. The third thing we know, Thousands of people are affected. Now, I'm keeping that number conservative. I'd be willing to say there's even millions of people. Of course it exists. Yeah, duh. I know. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, Jiff is there. Can you find Jiffy? Find Jiffy for me. Would love that. Um, Summer, great to see you. Rigo, nice. Hundreds of thousands. Yeah, at least hundreds of thousands. Again, I'm keeping the number conservative. Millions, maybe. I dare say millions, but at least hundreds of thousands. Also feel individual memories can change for personal events. So we've got our first speculation, guys. Individual memories can change for personal events. And the only reason I put that under speculation is you started the sentence with "I feel that." So in my opinion, that's opinion, you know. I am doing wonderful, Burgos. Great to see you, my friend. All right, back to the presentation. So at least thousands, if not millions of people are affected. That's the third fact. We see these changes. We're very aware that something is clearly going on with reality itself. Fourth fact, it's worldwide. People aren't just in Japan or just in America or just in Britain. No, I haven't heard anybody from Japan yet. I'm just throwing one out there. It's worldwide. People everywhere see this. I've got some Brits in my chat right now. I had a guy from Croatia hit me up on a comment the other day. There's a guy, I believe he's in Pakistan now, back home. I was talking to about it the other day in person. So yes, let there be peace on earth. If you go to Jif.com, Jif peanut butter exists. Jif peanut butter exists. But was it called Jiffy before? Can you find evidence that it was called Jiffy before? If so, I will retract my statement. If I said something is not true, definitely I will retract it. Jif exists. The peanut butter Jif exists. Was it ever called Jiffy? If you can find that information for me, I would love it. It was called Jiffy for me too. And in the history, originally the guy that created it called it Jiffy. I went back to look that up the other day, and that part of history did not exist. Yeah, no, it was always Jiffy. You're incorrect on this. A large group of people of us remember it being Jiffy, whereas it's always been Jif to you. I completely respect that. Fine. To us, it was always Jiffy. Then one day, out of the blue, it was suddenly Jif, and Jiffy never existed as the peanut butter. However, when I did the research, I found that the guy that originally invented it before he sold it to Procter and Gamble called it Jiffy. Now, when you go back and do that research, the guy that invented it before he sold it to Procter and Gamble never called it Jiffy. He called it Big Top Peanut Butter. False memories and implanted memories. That's a good theory. That is definitely a working theory, but it's definitely not something that we know for fact. False memories. I've done actual videos debunking false memories. So if you'd like to go back and look at that. Now, the AI creating new info, that I will not discard. However, I'm not here for a video to discuss with one person, so I do apologize, guys. Definitely go back and check out a lot of my work. Let there be peace on earth. Anyway, that's why I want to get down to the facts. I want to definitely get down to the facts of what we know is going on. A large portion of us remember Jiffy peanut butter. That is a fact. Jiffy peanut butter does not exist anymore. That is a fact. Never existed in history now. That is a fact. However, before it did to us. It is a worldwide phenomenon. It is absolutely a worldwide, world spread phenomenon. Not everybody is able to see it. I agree with that. I don't understand why. But not everybody is able to see the Mandela effect. They just aren't. I did. That's another fact that we'll get to in a little while. Fact number 5. The Out There channel is here. That's fact number 5. Another person that I've watched endlessly for hours at a time. I love sitting and listening to while I'm working on other projects. Out There channel, so good to see you again, my friend. Guys, you don't know, you're not subscribed to him, check him out. Great information he puts out. Anyway, number 5, seriously, virtually all aspects of life are affected. Whether it's your religion, whether it's your maps, whether it's your peanut butter, all these different aspects of life. Your spelling, things we were taught were spelled a certain way, now we're never spelled that way. A lot of us remember things spelled differently. And it's funny because we all happen to just be, quote, misspelling, end quote, the same word over and over and over and over and over. Little odd there on that one. But just different aspects all across the board. Virtually all aspects of life. There's something for everybody, as Gloria said the other day on Brian Staveley's chat. There's something for every age, for everybody. Pokemon, that there's kids now, I say kids, younger people who are more into the Mandela effect now because even they're scratching their heads going, wait. That ain't right. And it's small, but a lot of these are. A lot of these are. A lot of these seem almost insignificant, but they're not. A whole lot of grains of sand. A grain of sand is very insignificant. But you have enough grains of sand and you have a whole beach. What constitutes a beach and what constitutes a pile? Once you have enough of these pieces of weird information. Okay. Number 6, moving on. Bible verses have changed. Now, a lot of us know for a fact that the lion laid down with the lamb. Christian arts told us this for thousands of years. Christian preachers have too. Because they were preaching from the Bible that in front of their face said, a lion laid down with a lamb. Now, it says a wolf laid down with a lamb. Troublesome there. What really gets me with the Bible verse changes, guys, is not the fact that they're occurring, but the fact that I have had experts, serious experts, come to me and tell me, hey, Dark Wolf, this is changing. That's not what it used to say. People who are Bible scholars, people who are mainstream Bible scholars, who go on TV, who do things like that. I've had the experts come to me and say, look, something's not right. The Bible is changing. Words are different. So when the experts come to me personally and tell me that, I have to look at this and go, okay, yeah, I have to believe at least that much anyway, which I know from my own memory that they're different. Okay, let there be peace on earth. So let me, before I cordially ask you to bow out, let me give you a couple responses. Subliminal messaging, flashing, hypnotizing, implanted info, AI running wild, creating new pictures, video. That's all good and dandy. Except for none of it accounts for the flip-flops that we see between things that change and then change back to the way everybody remembers them. So we can't account for flip-flops in any of these theories that have been presented thus far. Second, the Bible changes. I love this. I love that you throw out the same answer that every unaffected person I've ever met has thrown out. There's different translations. You're very much right. The problem is we are all pulling from the exact same translation. We're not comparing the NIV with the KJV, with the New KJV, with the English Standard Edition, we're not comparing all the different ones. We're sticking with one version of the Bible. If you study different Bibles, yes, you're going to get different translations. You are absolutely correct. But how can you explain all the King James Version Bibles changing? I can't explain that. Bibles that are hundreds of years old. Okay, fine. Find where it says the lion shall lay down with the lamb anywhere else but in Isaiah 11:6, which it doesn't even say there. When you do, let me know. What else? What's another great Bible? In earth as it is in heaven. When you find the one that says on earth as it is in heaven, that's King James Version only, let me know. You should not put new wine in old bottles. Even if you want to argue the translation of the word could be accepted for the time that it was translated to, it was not a word used at the time of the actual writing and not the word used when we originally remember seeing it. You do not put new wine to old wineskins. How did we come up with wineskins? We just make that up? Don't think so. The Bible changes are very real. When I have preachers, ministers, Bible scholars, and even exorcists come to me and tell me, yes, the Bible is changing and they can still perform their duties within the church, which God would not allow if they were lying, then I have to accept that, along with my own memories being backed up by them. So it is not a translation issue, not at all. All right, carrying on. Number 7. It happens in waves. We've all noticed this over the years. Moneybag speaks of this quite a bit too. And I've not even collaborated with him directly on pretty much anything. It happens in waves. We see groups of people join the community in waves. We see suddenly a whole bunch of changes, then there's not really a whole lot going on. Then suddenly a whole bunch of changes again, then not a whole lot going on. Hang out a minute, Double O. I know it's real. That's what this is proving. Just hang out a minute. But we know it's happening in waves. That is a fact. We've seen it over and over and over in the last 3 or 4 years. At least 3.5 years for me. I've seen a certain pattern, but I can't make it distinct as if, so many months this or so many weeks that. We haven't seen the consistency, but we have seen it come in waves. That is a fact. Next, it started at least in '08. And the reason I say '08, again, I've had a lot of cases, including my own, that have documented issues all the way back to '08, at least. Now, there have been some anecdotal evidences that it could go further back and has been happening all of history. We don't know that as a fact. That is speculation. We do know that it's been going on. The oddities have been going on since at least '08, with the coining the phrase in 2010 by Fiona Broom. 007 says 2000 for him. So we know this has been going on quite a few years also. Now that's interesting information. Rockapane says the wolf is also present in old French Bibles too. I did look. A few ones of my father owns when I was on vacation, but most of the Mandela effects I've seen are in English. Interesting. 2,000 for Burgos. So at least 2,000. I'm going to move this over to the speculation side. And instead of '08, I'm going to go with at least in 2000. So, speculation, we have individual memories can change for personal events, and it started in at least 2000. Under facts so far, just to go back over what we've learned, it's ongoing. It is not stopped. It is something that we've consistently seen over and over and over across wide varieties of topics. Number two, memories and reality don't match. That's a fact. That's what the whole effect is about. Number three, thousands of people are affected. Again, I'll be conservative on this. I dare say millions of people share the exact same quote, false, end quote, memories. Number four, it is worldwide. It is spread from one end of the globe to the other, all four corners of the earth, to quote the Bible. Number five, virtually all aspects of life are affected. There's not a whole lot that I can think of that isn't, at least to some degree. Number six, Bible verses have changed. Again, that's a fact. We remember the Bible verses a lot differently than what they are now. And so does Isaiah 11:6, let there be peace. I apologize, but this is more for a channel of people that would like to discuss the topic, not argue about it. So I'll lift the ban in a couple days. You'll be more than welcome to come back in. But for now, we're not here to argue whether it's real or not. We're here to discuss the facts of what we know about it. Right now, you're doing nothing but dissenting my chat. I've been very patient, very calm. I have witnesses here, you guys. So there we go. You're very welcome. I've done nothing wrong. If you guys think I was wrong for quieting that, let me know. I'll gladly unquiet it right now. Carrying on. So, I don't know. I've seen them in many chats. I don't remember being argumentative. Anyway, we all have our days. There's days where even I get a little fussy with people. So next up, we have history itself has changed. This has been evidenced by World War II changes that we've seen and had more than enough people document. We've seen, again, the history that I researched of Jiffy peanut butter is no longer existed. The history itself has changed. As much as I would agree that it could be AI, and I will not rule that out, I've seen this too many times with too many aspects of too many Mandela effects. History itself, in some aspects, change. Ladies out there, appreciate hanging out, man. Feel free to hang out. You're more than welcome to. I was being really nice and letting it go, but I got tired of arguing the points, and I can't go on without arguing the points. That's just not me. I feel like the Emmy is door creating open-mindedness to other conspiracy quote theories. Pinky, that is true for people who haven't been in it for years and years. Very true. I need to get out of the chat, guys. Chat amongst yourself. I'll be keeping it on screen. I'm going to carry on here. Next up, we found many evidences of technology further back in time than what we remember. I don't remember there being a video phone in the 60s. I see why it didn't work, the high cost of transmission lines, but I just don't remember it existing. I don't remember cars running around New York with the horses as early as the I think it was 90s. All right, you guys beat me to it. I'll go ahead and throw that one up on the list next. That was actually further down the list, but both of you slapped it up the exact same time. So clearly, that's our next one. But we've seen technology further back in the timeline than what either we remember or we were taught to begin with. Could it be misteaching to some degree? Some of it, yes. All of it, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Number 10, as was put word for word by both James Johnson and 007 at the exact same time, geography has changed. That's a fact. We all remember South America being south of America, not southeast of America. Otherwise, it would probably have been called, I don't know, Southeast America. Made more sense that way. I say that only half jokingly. But geography itself, when I grew up, on the globes I would look at, and you can't find these globes now as far as I know, there was a great big white mass across the top of the earth. And Australia was down at the bottom. New Zealand was the top of it. And South America was under America, not under Florida at its coast. Mongolia, Japan, a large amount of map changes, guys. We can sit here all day, but that's Chick's expertise. I know a lot of you guys hang out at Chick's channel. That is absolutely Chick's expertise, so I'm not going to go in depth on that. It is interesting that the history changes we've seen, though, start to match the geography changes that we have seen. It's like it needs to keep a certain consistency. Act as if nothing's actually changed when there are those of us who know it has. Next fact. Flip-flops. Flip-flops are a thing, guys. Sure, I don't have to tell you guys that. Just go back and watch my older videos. I did a top 5 flip-flop video. I've done a video completely discounting memory. The Mandela effect, memory impossible. Definitely check that out. Let there be peace. You really might learn something. Flip-flops, though. These are very real. And these are what really convinced me that the Mandela effect is 110,000% real. I can question memory and the possibility of memory all day. But the flip-flops have been one of those things that have just smacked me in the face multiple times. Because these are ones that I always end up calling BS on. Not always. 4 out of 6, 3 out of 5, something like that. 3 out of 5. The Victoria's Secret one. I called BS. I said it's too close. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's a real Mandela effect. Within 2 weeks, it flopped back to what everybody said it was to begin with, and I had to eat my shoe. Costco did the same thing. I'm really starting to get a taste for shoe leather. The flip-flops in and of themselves have taught me, without a questionable shadow of a doubt, that this effect is very real. I cannot account for them in pretty much any theory I've ever come up with. Flip-flops are thongs in Australia. I want to go to Australia. Just saying. Ask a girl to wear flip-flops. Anyway, moving along. We've seen personality flip-flops even. We've seen people's personality go back and forth. Now, understand, I've woken up on days and went, you know what? Not today. We've all had that day. We've all woken up and said, nope, not doing it. Or just want to argue with everybody just for the sake of arguing with everybody. I've done it, guys. I know we all have. We're not proud of it. We've done it. And I think I just ran my train of thought right out the window. So I hope you guys understood what I was saying. Anyway. Preliminal has got ahead of me here. Okay, so I'm going to put this under speculation, preliminal, because we haven't determined whether it is multiple timelines, single Earth, multiple Earths. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that under speculation. Not all affected seem to be from the same former Earth. This is something that matches a lot of the data that we found as far as different groups, like I mentioned earlier. But I can't definitively call it a fact per se. It's not something that we 100%, yeah, we know this is what's going on yet. Someone ever heard of the Verrazano Bride here in New York? Okay, I've never even heard of that word, so I can't help you, bud. Sorry. Jay Holland, I woke up late. I woke up a lot of times wanting to argue with you at Dark Wolf. But since you rode the train of thought out the door, you are unarmed. I will let you slide. Touche, my friend. Touche. Chugga, chugga, choo, choo. Up next, we have. This is one that I grapple with, but I base this on old anatomy books. Anatomy has changed. The old anatomy books don't look like what I helped my mom learn medicine from. See, my mother was a CNA, and she didn't become a CNA until us kids were, shoot, I was at least 10 or 11 years old, maybe even 12. But I was helping her study, and I learned a whole lot about the human body, more so than I would like to. And as I look at old anatomy books now, I don't, I don't see it. I don't see the anatomy I remember. Things are placed in completely different places. And I'm talking books from the same era in which my mother would have had the book to learn from, the same books that I would have been reading and helping her with. You make certain mental notes when you learn stuff like that. You kind of get an idea of where stuff is in your body. It's kind of something you carry around with you all day, every day. So, you know, so we know that anatomy, at least the anatomy that we remember learning and the books we remember learning them from, have changed. That is a fact. Next, probably should have led with this one, huh? I have done a lot of work in my time on YouTube to definitively prove that it is not memory. This is not a memory slash confabulation issue. It's not. It's just not. The flip-flops, if anything else, prove it. It is not a memory confabulation of memory issue. The reason it's not confabulation, for those that may be watching still that aren't in the chat, the reason it cannot be confabulation, number one, is majority only seen in certain diseases, Alzheimer's, Korsakoff, Wernicke-Korsakoff disease, which comes from being an alcoholic. Sorry, I don't drink. That don't fit me or a large bit of the community. Confabulation is only something that happens in medical cases, majorly speaking, not 100%. more like 80%, majorly speaking. None of us, correction, most of us do not fall into this category, especially spread out across the world as we are. We go ahead and check, make sure the screen looks, screen looks exactly like I want it to. Good deal. Good deal. All right. Next. And this is the last one that I have. I had 15, but I moved one over to speculation aisle. So 14. The odd responses and behavior. Believe it or not, guys, I had this on the list long before tonight's chat of those that are unaffected. I can explain a little bit of this, just to the point that people don't like to be wrong and get a little embarrassed and just kind of get agreeable after a little bit, just usually to shut us up. So I can explain some of the responses, but it's the ones that you see that you just cannot, it's not a psyop. It's the ones that you see that you just cannot. Okay, you give somebody an example of one and they agree with you. And whether you follow it up or not, suddenly you can see them go blank for a minute. Now, this is the weird, disturbing part that I just cannot account for. They'll almost go blank-eyed. Then they'll come back to you with all the information of the way it is now. Is that Scotty Balo in a Russian name? Totally kidding. Totally kidding. Scotty, if you're watching, totally kidding, bud. So the weird responses and the weird behavior of the ones when we do tell people about it, I've seen it myself in a couple. I've seen it fought by some. Next, one more. I just thought of it. At least 90, and I'm again being conservative. I could say about 99, 98, but 95% of the community is empath. It's a fact. At least claims to be empath. Let me repeat or rephrase. That's a fact. Oh, that must be peace on earth again. No, I did not kick them out for proving me wrong on anything because they're yet to do that. Having a different opinion, no. Riling up my chat and trying to move the conversation away from what's on screen, which is exactly what you're doing, is exactly why they got banned. And exactly the same reason, with those cute little faces, that you're walking away too. Bye-bye. Anyway, moving along. Again, they're yet to prove anything at all. Yet I've done a year's worth of proving on my channel. James says, Darkwolf, frequency is connected in some way. Could just be as a result, definitely a marker. Tinnitus. Tonight, okay, that's another fact. Along with a large majority of the community being empath, tinnitus is experienced by a large majority of the community. I can't say 100% because I don't know. And I'll admit what I don't know. But what I do know is the facts that we presented thus far. Tinnitus is experienced by a large majority of this community. Myself, I get it quite often. And when I say I get it, it kind of stays, but right around 2 a.m., I've noticed for the last week, mine gets really, really, really loud. I don't think it's tinnitus either. That's the best example of a word for the language that we have. So, agreed, it's not tinnitus in and of the definition of tinnitus. However, it is experienced by a large majority of the community. That is a fact. Neither the Russian bot named or the Let There Be Peace on Earth that is the Russian bot was able to prove any of this wrong. Sorry. All you were able to do is rile up my chat and try to get me off topic. This is what we know. This is what we've got to work with. After 3.5 years, it isn't a lot. We have a lot of speculation, but we don't know exactly what could cause all of this. I mainly wanted to document this and put it out there. Speculation, we have individual memories can change for personal events. It started in at least 2000, and not all affected seem to be from the same Earth, which I will have to somewhat agree with. Why does it do that? Every time I move it, it gets little again. Ha ha, don't go there. Hey, Nyakis, great to see ya. So, what can we gather from what we know so far, guys? What can we determine from what we know? I don't know. I really don't have the answer to this. That's kind of why the stream's going on. We know it's not PSYOP. We know it's not confabulation and memory issues. We know anatomy, geography, the Bible, foods, all of that has changed. We know 95% of the community is empath. We know tinnitus is experienced by a large majority of the community. We know that there's times when we tell people about it and we get the most strange responses ever. We know technology is further back than what we originally remember it being. We know it's a worldwide phenomenon. We know almost millions, if not millions, of people are affected. We know it brings out some really weird trolls, too, as evidenced by tonight's chat. Hey, Kathy, great to see you, by the way. I do see you hanging out over there. I really appreciate you stopping in, hanging out with us. I do catch your streams every now and again when I'm able to. Sadly, I usually am not at the time to. So many people, I wish I had the time to just sit down and just watch everybody's streams all day. Just do nothing but that. But then I wouldn't be able to do these streams and wouldn't be able to do the amount of research we put in here. Anyway, I'm babbling now, but what can we get from this? What can we determine from this? However, since the troll was nice enough to come back twice, I will grant them this speculation. False memory. Which we know is, well, not the case. I don't think this has a markout function. Let me see. Format, font. Do we have a markout function? So we mark out some of the speculations. There we go. And we don't have a strikeout. Oh well. No worries. Anyway. PSYOP. My only problem with PSYOP, I actually have considered that many, many, many times myself. Problem there is that the flip-flops could not and would not exist. You can't convince that many companies to change their whole signage and logos and everything for a couple weeks to suddenly change it back when nobody sees it happen to begin with. And no, I'm sorry, the government is good, but they ain't that damn good. And they ain't that damn uh, um, what's the word I'm looking for? They're too lazy. Agreed, it could be used as a psyop against some people. That I don't doubt. 007. Preliminal says 17 personal MEs, buildings changing location and or appearing where there never were before. Don't even know where to put that. Personal MEs. Okay. You know what? I think I just figured out how to add that to the list. I'll go with that. Okay. So personal MEs, and I'm going to put this as in example, i.e., buildings changing location or buildings appearing that were never there. For example, I've not had this particular thing happen to me. As far as buildings coming and going, I can't attest to that. However, I have had some personal MEs. Matter of fact, I've had a couple personal MEs. Now, here's the problem calling them personal MEs. And here's where I start to draw that line where I get on the skeptic side for a minute. I kind of get on let there be pieces side for just a second. We cannot call them Mandela effects if they're personal. By the very definition of a Mandela effect, it is where a large group of people have memories that do not match reality. Personal MEs, therefore, could not exist. However, I will say that we have more, quote, paranormal activity, end quote, that occurs around us than most other people. I don't even want to get into the whole shifting thing. Although shifting's a thing, I can't prove whether it's multi-line, single line, what the shift, quote, end quote, actually is. So I don't want to get too deep into that just yet. Back to this. I would say that we have more weird occurrences, more paranormal things happen around us than the general population. We can call them personal MEs just for reference points, but by its definition, I think that's more of a misnomer. And I think it's a misnomer that we've kind of carried on as a community that makes us to the skeptics look a little eh because we kind of redefine what we mean when we say stuff like that. We can't say it means this, then say, but also it means that. It's not exactly, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, guys? It gets confusing. People think we're just cuckoo and making it up as we go. And I see where the skeptics have some points on this. That's why I try to do these streams and try to sort out some of these skeptic arguments. So the personal MEs, again, just to reiterate, I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm saying I think we need a better wording for them. So I'm going to leave it on the list of fact, i.e., things that are odd around us. But I think we need to find a better wording for that, guys. I do. I think we really need to find a better way to put that. We understand what the wording means, but I think we could do better. Then again, I think we could have done better with the whole name. So, eh. And on that, ladies and gentlemen, 1 second. Coffee. I'm not pushing any brand, just coffee. um, I like Jimmy Church, guys, over at Fade to Black Radio. Shameless free advertising plug there. He does the River Moon coffee. And every day he takes a drink, he'll right into the mic. He'll do the video, you can watch him. It's really crazy. Anyway, the shifting. Now, something called shifting exists. That's a fact. But I'm going to preface this with apparently a bunch of symbols that want to pop up on the screen because my fingers don't know how. But agreed, we've been duped by our language and very limited by it and controlled. Agreed. Shifting. So the waves that we spoke of earlier. Hey, Nyakis, thank you so much. Love you too. Love every last one of you guys. Everybody watching, everybody listening, everybody watching later. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. All right, shifting. So when these waves hit, these waves of Mandela effects, these waves of people, we see what we call a shift, where suddenly the whole bunch of things are different. We see a bunch of Mandela effects come up. We see a bunch of people suddenly at the exact same time come in the community, which as many people say that we're picking them up as we quote move timelines, I offer the alternative explanation that people move in packs and groups and find out about things the same way in groups and packs. Ah, prelim, I got you. All eyes, I got you. But shifting is a thing to the point of when we see things around us in majority that have suddenly changed. There's been certain health effects that have been reported, a lot of anecdotal evidence. I don't have any medical records I can back this up with, so I can't say medically that there's a fact there. However, there's been a lot more than enough anecdotal evidence. And what's the word I'm looking for? Give me 1 second. I'll find it in a minute. Anyway, a lot of evidence that is not 100%. Consequential evidence. That's the word I'm looking for. Consequential evidence. All right. Preliminals really rocking it over here tonight, guys. I don't know if you noticed that. Milky Way, Sagittarius, Orion arm. A lot of us remember being taught that we live in the Milky Way galaxy. We know that. In reference of, we were taught we lived, and even Carl Sagan said, we live on the Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way. We were taught this growing up 110%. Problem is, you go back and look at all the old history books and everything now. It's the Orion arm. We've lived on the Orion arm the whole time, according to history. A large portion of us remember being taught that we lived on the Sagittarius arm. Could this be misteaching? Again, go back and look at the old books. They don't even have it stated anymore. It's like it was never there. So where did we all come up with the exact same thing? Carl Sagan, the most brilliant man in the world, and another one, at the time he was, and another one, guys. So type in, for those that really question this one, and I do every day still, type in and then try to find out, when did science realize that we were no longer on Sagittarius, that we were actually on Orion? Please find where science come out and said, oh, we were wrong. Here's where we're at. Because I can't find that point. I got you, James. I seen you. Give me just a minute, Bubba. I seen you. That's next on the list. Because I thought of a perfect example for that. But I want to get this rant out of the way. 1 second. So, if you can find me where science, at the point that science come out and said, nope, we were wrong. We're not on the Sagittarius arm. We're on the Orion arm. If you can find that point, I will completely and 100% relent that part of my argument. But I cannot find that anywhere at all. So for the naysayers, please, when you find that, let me know. I gladly will relent on that. Next, another thing that we have seen in the community that is a fact, we have seen this happen, and I don't even mean digitally. What I'm talking about is name changes. Yes, we have seen some digital name changes as far as usernames that people claim they didn't. I can't go with that 100% for fact. However, there was a guy named Andrew Zimmerman. Loved watching that show. Traveled the world. Then one day, Andrew Zimmerman never existed. It was Zimmern. It was always Andrew Zimmern. Zimmern. Not Zimmerman, Zimmern. Okay, well, you just remembered it wrong. Okay, me and thousands and millions of people remembered it wrong. Fine. What person built the boat to save all the animals and all that during the flood? Name the person that built that boat. Desi Arnaz or Christopher Reeves? No, I'm sorry. That is not the correct answer. I'm sure you were not answering that question, actually, but. Okay, so it seems unanimous in chat. Noah. Reeves and Sally Fields. No, preliminary. I'm sorry. Reeves did not build the boat. I'm sorry. I know. Totally kidding. Noah. However, the Bible says the boat was built by this guy. No E. No E. Or no. Or no A. Or no E. Or however you want to pronounce that weird word. But the Bible no longer says Noah built the boat. You don't believe me? Go back and grab your King James Bible. Look in Genesis. That guy built the boat. That guy right built the boat. Yeah. I wonder if that's where they got the Noel. Go back and look it up, 007. Blows my mind. I actually included that in a Bible stream from Bill Bean's website. Look it up. Noe. Yeah. He built the boat, not Noah. At least that's what the Bible says now. So name changes. This has been another. I don't have the chance to look it up. If anybody knows those verses, please throw that out in chat. I don't have the Bible verse for by verse memorized. Sorry. We have seen name changes across the board. You know what? I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe. See if we can get a window here. Yeah, let's go to that window. Pull this up. As much as I want to use Bill's site, I'm going to go ahead and go with Bible Gateway. Since it's more accepted. Gated Way, yep, KJV. Watch this, guys. For those who haven't seen this yet, I hope you're sitting down. Hope you got your hat off. You might want to hold it in your hand to have something to cringe on to here in a second. Okay, so I want one word. N-O-E. Clearly, I don't have the chat up on the screen at the minute, guys. Give me a second. Matthew says, as in the days of Noe were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. See, I didn't catch that last time. Not Noe, not the Matthew one. Where's the ones from Genesis? Oh, this is the authorized KJV. I see. 1 second. Let me get the standard. Standard right there. Huh. Well, that's changed again. Used to be in Genesis. So did Noah get fixed back in Genesis? Did this flop back? Did that really happen? As it was in the days of Noe, whoever he was. Huh. Well, we look at that, guys. Go back to my stream, 33 Bible changes or 33 more Bible changes. It said Noe in Genesis. How many of you guys here remember this? How many of you guys here seen that? It says Noah now. I stand fully 120% corrected. It says Noah now. Understood is an alternate spelling of Noah, even if it is. That's not what it said here. The last time we did this research, and it didn't have it in Matthew, Mark, and Luke then. It had it in Genesis. Yeah, Eva even covered it. It's Noah again. Check it out, guys. We've seen a flip-flop here. At least I have. This is a flip-flop for me. That's interesting. This was completely on a whim, too. It's Noah now. Yeah. Noah all through Genesis, guys. It says Noah. 110%. I stand corrected, guys. I made a false statement earlier. But for those of you who have been with me for quite a while, for those of you who have seen my older videos, for those of you who have seen me show this on screen, you've seen it was different. You guys seen it. I know you did. I know I did. Bill Bean has even pointed out multiple times. And now it says Noah. Dude, guys, I'm tripping. It's that feeling you get when you see a Mandela effect. You guys know the feeling. Oh my God. Bubbles, bubbles. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody remembers it. I need more coffee. All right. So that's been fixed there, but it now exists in Matthew, Mark, Luke, maybe John, at least Matthew, Mark, Luke. Huh. All right. Learn something new every day, guys. And I just learned it something new that I learned it before. It is no longer. So I'm going to stop the list there. These are 20 things that we know, without a doubt, is a fact. Exactly, James. I love that. Flip-flops suck for that reason. They make you look like you are a liar or uneducated. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not done with the broadcast, guys. Hang around a couple more minutes. I'm just done with the actual list. Unless we have another one come up, then, if we have another fact, you know me, guys. All right, so I'm going to go back over what we've learned thus far. As we go along, you're more than welcome to. Not going to hurt my feelings any. That'll give us a written record and a record on screen also. What we know. What are the facts? Just the facts, ma'am. Just facts. Number one, it's an ongoing phenomenon. It is neither stopped, nor was it a one-time event that we're just playing Easter egg hunt for. Keep going live forever. I'm in. Love it, Nyakus. You rock. Love it. All you guys rock. It is an ongoing event. It is not a one-time event that we're still having an Easter egg hunt for. It is not something that is stopping or has stopped. It is something that we've seen for multiple years that has been consistently ongoing. Number 2, memories and reality don't match. That is a fact. Memory and reality definitely don't match. That's kind of the whole point of the effect. Number 3, thousands, if not millions, of people worldwide are affected. That is a fact. That is why there's so many of us in these chats all the time. That's why I've got, how many people I got in here right now? 17 viewers right now, just on a whim at 4 a.m. What was 3 a.m. Early morning, and there's about 20 of you guys in here. Yeah. Thousands of people are affected. Number 4, it is worldwide. I've got people in here right now from Australia, Britain, America. I don't know, are my Aussies in here? Do I have any Aussies in here tonight? I've had Aussies in here. Let me put it like that. People all over the world. I'm glad you stayed tuned, 007. I appreciate it. In all time zones, it's 11:15 a.m. in an island owned by the British colonies. I can't remember the name of the island, so I'm going to leave it at that. Number 5, virtually all aspects of life are affected, whether it's your Bible, whether it's your peanut butter. Some have had name changes. All aspects of life, from little to big, all aspects of life have been affected in some degree. Not every part of all aspects, but to some degree. We've seen history, we've seen children's books, we've seen tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of changes along the last couple of years. Bible verses have changed. Number 6, Bible verses have changed. And I think I just did a great job of showing a flip-flop change in the Bible. First flip-flop I've caught in the Bible, by the way. So that actually changes a bit of my research. Patrick Roberts, cheers, mate. Glad to see you, buddy. No, he's not in Aussie or UK. He's actually Northern America. Northern North America. Northern USA. Put it like that. You and Rationally both. Rational, I seen you earlier. Apologies for not shouting you out earlier. Cheers to both of you guys. The Bible verses have changed. We've seen a flip-flop, guys. I've never seen a Bible flip-flop. I've heard people say it, but I've never seen an actual flip-flop in the Bible till now. Bill, if you're watching this, put an article on your website, bud. Please. This is incredible. If you remember Noe, which I believe you do, being in Genesis, is now back to Noah, and Noe's in the New Testament. If you're watching, Bill, I want to see an article, please. Just kidding. I know you're a busy guy. Shark Khan, appreciate it, buddy. Glad to have you here. Number 7, it happens in waves. So we've seen this again many years. I've been doing this at least 3.5 years. We've seen this come and go in waves over and over. Groups of Mandela effects, groups of people join us. Then we have a quiet time. Then we have groups of Mandela effects. Then we have a quiet time. It happens in waves. That is a fact. History. History itself, on multiple aspects, has changed. That is a fact. The history of the research that I personally did into Jiffy peanut butter no longer exists. The history itself is different than what it was when I did the research. Number 9, technology is further back in time than what any of us remember. That is a fact. Lone Eagle has done weeks worth of videos on this very topic right here. Technology seems to be dancing through time for whatever reason. That is a fact. Number 10, geography has changed. And like I said before, we could spend the entire rest of the stream just discussing all the geography changes. Chick Mandela Effect, if you want to find her channel, has got weeks worth of information on that. Number 11, flip-flops. No, I'm not talking about what we wear on the feet. No, I'm not talking about what the Aussies in the UK call a flip-flop. Look it up, guys. Interesting information there. I'm talking about Mandela Effect flip-flops. Like we just seen, once again, with the Bible. It was Noah, then it went to Noe. Then when I went to show you guys that it went to Noe, where I'd seen it go back to Noe, or go to Noe, it went back to Noah again. So, yeah. So the flip-flops we know are a thing. We've seen Victoria's Secret, Costco, Flintstones, Noe to Noah. The whole 9 yards. We've seen flip-flops multiple times. Nyakus, I agree with everybody in that list except one, and I'll give you 3 hints who that is. Anyway, the anatomy has changed from both what we remember being taught and the books we remember being taught from. Yeah, Noah's Noah now. Sure is. Damn, it bugs me. The anatomy has changed. The books on the anatomy has changed. Number 13. It is not a memory or confabulation of memory issue. This is 100,000% a fact. Without question, if this channel has done nothing else in the past, we have worked to dispel this myth right here, that it is memory confabulation issue. That one kind of touches home with me. Number 14, odd responses and behavior of those that are unaffected. I don't even think I need to explain that one to you guys. You guys who are here especially, we've all experienced that one. Number 15, 95% of the community at least is empath. This is a fact. I dare say the number's slightly higher, but without a doubt, at least 95% of our community is empath. It's one of the very few things we've been able to all have in common. Even 3 years later, it still stands true to be. Tinnitus is experienced by a large majority of the community. Again, it is not tinnitus by the definition of tinnitus, but it is. It's within the same vocal or tone ranges. It's like tinnitus, but it's not. And I got to thinking about this too, guys. My dad, for years, used to complain that I always had to have noise on. Even if it is tinnitus, it's not tinnitus like from a factory or from work that's been done. So something I would have been bored with my whole life, I would have experienced. And I wonder about that with the rest of you guys. If you just think back in your childhood, have you always needed to have a TV or radio or something playing? Always had to have some kind of sound, maybe subconsciously to drown out what other people are saying. Kathy Mello, can I add this, Dark Wolf? People have been walking up to me and bearing the deepest issues. It's killing me. Kathy Mello, that has been the story of my life. That's happened to me so many times. People will come sit down next to me on a bench and just tell me their life story. And then about 30 minutes in, will look at me and go, I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I just feel I can tell you anything. That has happened so many times in my life, more times than I can even dare to count. I understand how weird that is. Sitting on a bus, somebody give you their entire everything they've ever done, right or wrong, and then turn to you 20 or 30 minutes in and go, I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I don't know why I feel I'm telling you my life story. I just feel like I can trust you. I feel like I can tell you anything. I think it's part of the empath. I don't know. I really, 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 really don't know. If more people are experiencing that on a majority scale, that's interesting. That is very interesting. I work in the public, so I have people walking up to me all the time giving me random life stories. So I can't really count as far as that goes now. When I didn't work directly with the public, it was a little more odd. Oh, wow. Not gonna vocally put that out there. If you guys are watching and want to go back and read the chat, what Kathy Mello just said, that's fine. Um, wow. Prayers to them. All right, I'm getting off topic, guys. Well, let me get back into it. We're almost done. Personal MEs. Again, this is more of a misnomer. We do have oddities happen around us that aren't experienced by the large majority, per se. The specific oddity isn't. And by definition, MEs can't be personal. But we do find a lot of strange occurrences, like Kathy Mello was just talking about, how people come start bearing their soul to you. This is another strange occurrences that happened around us personally. Probably more often than the general public. And maybe that's because we're more open to it because we do see the Mandela effect. Maybe we're more open to seeing the quote impossible end quote. Hey Dark Wolf, I see you mentioned that many are empaths. How many do you think are affected with the dyslexia or some sort? You know, Jay Holland, I don't know. I don't personally have dyslexia, but I think that will be my next poll. You just give me an idea. Check my community tab after this, guys. I'm going to set up a poll. Do you have dyslexia if you are Mandela affected? Let's see how that goes. All right, number 18, shifting. Shifting is a conceptual thing. We don't know exactly what it is. It's the language we have put on the waves that occur, that we've seen occurring, I should say, in the Mandela effect community. Whether it be Mandela effects themselves or people joining the community, shifting is what the word we use for the waves that we see appear. What it is originally is coined from the idea that we could be shifting between parallel dimensions. However, that is speculation and theory, is not based in fact, and therefore is not on the list as such. I hope that made sense, guys. Number 19, the Milky Way is different. We were all taught we were on the Sagittarius arm as kids. Now, everybody was always taught they were on the Orion arm, and we were all just crazy. Wrong. I also can't find where science changed its mind about our location. I'll buy that. If I can find where science said, all right, guys, we were wrong, cool. I will chalk that up and completely quit talking about that. But I can't find that, which makes that go on this list as a fact that as of right now, we used to be on Sagittarius arm and we're on Orion now. And last but not least on this list of what we know, people's names have changed. And I mean retroactively. And I guess that goes back to the history too. When certain things change, they change through history. They change retroactively. It's like it was always that way. And then you get people like Let There Be Peace who come in here and say, no, you're wrong. It was always that way. See, look. See, it says right here it was always that way. Because you clearly don't understand the concepts of the Mandela effect or how any of this works. When you can prove it has changed to a different way, fine. When you can't prove that, we have issues. So these are 20 things we know, 20 facts that we know about the Mandela effect. We have a lot of speculation, a lot of theory. For guys who are really interested in a theory, go back and read R1's posts all the way through this chat. How do I know what they say? Because he says the same thing every single chat I've ever been in him with. Interesting theory. Interesting indeed. Nothing against it. If you guys are interested in his theory, definitely go back and read intermittently through the entire chat we've had tonight. He's got it all laid out, I guarantee you. All right, guys, these are 20 things. I haven't had a chance yet, Jay. I've got it written down, but I just haven't even had a chance to do that research yet. That's my next research topic, though, I promise you. So I'm going to make a, the other list. We got to cover the other list. I'm going to make a poll. I'm going to do that Michael Jackson research. All right, speculation list, guys, and I am saving these. File, save, right now. Save. All right, maybe we won't. We'll save them later. But I promise you they will be saved. All right, what we speculate. Number one, individual memories can change for personal events. This has been anecdotally shown in our community multiple times, but again, speculation. I cannot call it fact. Number two, it started in at least 2000. We cannot pin down an exact starting date. A lot of us can pin down, some of us can pin down back to 2000 at least. Number three, not all affected seem to be from the same former Earth. This is assuming that the timeline jumping theory is correct. With that assumption, then if it is multiple Earths, not all of us are from the same one. That is an assumption. Number four, false memory. It is not false memory. That is an incorrect and invalid assumption. Number five, psyop. That is another assumption that is completely, absolutely, utterly, and positively invalid. So, yeah, right. So that, guys, has been this presentation of 20 things we know about the Mandela effect. I hope everybody has enjoyed it. Thank you, everyone who has hung out with us. You guys have been troopers. Thank you for putting up with the incidents earlier. For those that have stuck around, that were about to leave, thank you so much for sticking around and continuing to hang out with us. It's very, very appreciated. Make sure, guys, you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share this around all the social media, everywhere you can. If you believe what I've said to be truth, especially, spread this around. I'm trying to lay out every bit of the naysayers' arguments and explore them and show them that these arguments are invalid. But I need to do this in a way that's going to be calm and understanding. You know what I mean, guys? Share this around. See if we can get the word out. NYC Bit, thank you so much. That is so appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out also. That has been great. We love each and every one of you guys. It is so appreciated. And I just want to end on one note. Ladies and gentlemen, remember always. Oh, Rationally, hey, thanks for hanging out with us. R1 Burgos, James Holland, James Johnson, Jay Holland, Nyakis, Sharkticon Nod 007. You've been a trooper, bud. Rocka Payne, Burgos R1. The fourth side of 3 is 1. Kathy Mello. Awesome hanging out with us, Kathy. Very much appreciated, guys. Go over and check Kathy's channel out, too. You want a really good channel that keeps up with a lot of the Earth monitors and things like that, sun monitors. Check out Kathy Mello, guys. You will not be disappointed if that's what you're into. Patrick Roberts, A1, Alone One. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Preliminal. You definitely can't forget Preliminal. Thank you so much, guys. Bubbles. If I missed your name, I do apologize. Let there be peace on earth, also known as Russian Bot. Thanks for hanging out with us as long as you did. Everybody, remember always, stay awake, but dare to dream. Bye, everybody.